Hi, I'm Allison Cook, and I did my second career profile on being a social worker. Um, the first example or organization that I found was actually called the National Association of Social Work, and it's based in Washington, D.C., and it's very popular for doing or just kind of all social work because social work is pretty broad. There's a lot of fields that you can go into, and I didn't have a contact for this field, but so I'm going to move on to the work environment. Um, in reading and researching uh, social work, I found that they can work in a variety of different areas, just like there's a variety of different type of social work. So your settings could be like a mental health clinic, the hospital, schools, child welfare, human services, and even private practices like in a clinic. Um, some of the typical kind of social work a person does, to give you kind of like a taste of what the work environment would be hospital primary care settings, nursing homes, community mental health clinics, state and local governments, colleges and universities, along with schools, um, substance abuse clinics, also military bases, and correction facilities, as well as child welfare agencies. So there's pretty uh, lots of flexibility when it comes to where you would work and that kind of thing. Um, okay, so the typical stressors that I found when I was researching this was a lot of the social work. It's hard to deal with sometimes day in and day out, dealing with other people's situations, and so they found a lot of decreased happiness among social workers because of just always being around maybe poor health, poor levels of psychological problems or stuff like that, and since it's such a needed thing, you can be understaffed quite a bit and pretty busy, so that can also be very stressful. Um, but they also said a lot of the things that you do need to kind of compensate for being stressed is you just have a lot of compassion because you develop relationships in very stressful and difficult situations. You need interpersonal skills where you're able to work with others, and a lot of the time you're going to be the one who needs to be strong. So that can also put a lot of pressure on you. Listening skills, kind of again, listening and understanding to clients' needs, and um, you also need to be good at being organized and helping someone organize their life in a way. So that that would be a much needed skill, as well as time management. And you would be you would learn how to effectively manage your time while working with several different kinds of clients. For the typical benefits, I didn't really see anything that stood out about maybe health benefits or anything like that, but as far as the in-kind benefits, um, there's a lot. I can read you this quote. It says, "Social workers can readily see the tangible results of their efforts and the difference they make in their clients' lives. The field also offers a lot of variety, so social workers can move to a different type of job when they need a change." And they go on to talk about they really make a difference in people's lives, almost kind of that immediate effect. So it's very gratifying as well. There, for the other type of benefits. There's a variety of different employers. Like I said before, you could be working at a hospital or a military base or a nursing home, so your employer would always be different. So there's a lot of flexibility. Um, and along with flexibility, you have flexible hours as well. And I know that sometimes social work is put on a negative or put in a negative light, and but it just depends on where you're working. If you're working clinically, you have set time, and if you're working at a school, maybe as a counselor or social work at a school, your hours would just be 8 hours a week. So there is some flexibility. And the last benefit that I'd like to talk about is the growth opportunity, which social work is growing at a rate that's it's never been at such an increase before. It's grown by 25% according to the U.S. Labor Statistics Bureau. So there's a lot of growth in there. So there are a lot of job openings. So that's very good. Some of the common job tasks are social workers help people cope with challenges in their lives. You may be working with children or people with disabilities or serious illnesses or addictions. So it just depends. But typically, a social worker is identifying people who need help, assessing clients' needs, situations, strengths, support networks, and determining goals for them. They develop plans to improve their clients' well-being. They help clients adjust to change and challenges in their lives, such as illness, divorce, or unemployment. You're also helping with healthcare type things, and that could include Medicaid or Medicare, depending on the age. And you may even be responding to child abuse situations or advocating and helping to improve well-being in children's lives. And one other thing you might be doing is just improving someone's situation or providing positive help and feedback for them. Some of the educational requirements, they typically want you to have a bachelor's degree, but if you want to go further in doing something clinical or something a little bit that requires maybe you are helping them medicinally, you would need a master's degree. And what that kind of entails is licensing and certification and stuff like that. And it just depends on the state, what type of license and certification requirements that they have. So they said typically you would have 2 years of supervised clinical experience after graduation with your bachelor's to do that. So it just kind of varies, but it's typically a bachelor's or higher. So a bachelor's or master's degree is required for doing social work. As far as salaries go, the lowest, and this is the 10% lowest, so this is the bottom number, is $27,000 as an income, and then at the very highest level, it's about $73,000. So you have a wide range, but about the average is about $45,000 a year for a social worker, and the hours just depends on how many hours you're getting. Just some fun facts are that the number of jobs in 2012 for social work is now over 600,000 people, and the field is growing exponentially. It is projected to increase still 19% by 2022. So that's only about 10 years or so, a little less than 10 years, that it will grow almost 20%. So that's a big deal. Those were kind of just some of the things that I had researched about social work, and I found a lot of it very positive, and that was why I had researched for the career profile this week.